wrestling fans? My name is Brian Crazy, and you are watching the FM brand of wrestling and entertainment here on YouTube.com. Thanks for tuning in once again. I am back with This Week in Wrestling. Yes, it has been a long time since I have produced a This Week in Wrestling episode for you guys, but I am back. We are going to do it in episodic format, and we are going to produce not only one, but two This Week in Wrestling shows each week for you guys. TNA Wrestling and This Week in the WWE. So let's start off with TNA Wrestling. Lockdown, Sunday night, April 15, 2012, in the Nashville Memorial Auditorium. TNA put on an absolutely phenomenal show, in my opinion. Would I have liked to see some of the match outcomes a little bit different? Yes, but at the end of the day, these athletes went out there and put their neck on the line for us and performed at the best of their ability. If anybody put on a piss-poor performance, trust me, I'm a wrestling reviewer. I would put this information into my review. Now, you guys have been questioning a lot of things lately. There's been a lot of comments coming at me, and I don't feel like I need to defend myself, but I'm going to make it pretty clear real quick. I am a fan of professional wrestling. I've been a fan of professional wrestling for my whole life, and yes, I am a fan of sports entertainment. I am a fan of wrestling mixed with the entertainment aspect. I enjoy the storylines. I enjoy the music. I enjoy the pyro. I enjoy it all. I think it adds so much to wrestling. Just imagine if there was no storyline, no nothing, no build. How would you even get behind a superstar other than enjoying his athleticism? Don't get me wrong. You could get behind a superstar just by enjoying his athleticism, but everything else, his character, his mannerisms, his promos, it just adds so much complexity and dimension and expands wrestling from being what could be this big to being this big. You know what I mean? It's absolutely phenomenal what professional wrestling has evolved into. But Lockdown, it was a great show. And at the end of the day, like I said, I appreciate what these performers do. They go out there and put their necks on the line. And yeah, they're getting paid. But do you go to work not to make money? I mean, be honest. And also, before we jump into this any further, future episodes of this show will also be featured on my new channel, Fight Nation Wrestling. So make sure to check that out. So for the first match of the night, Lethal Lockdown, when all participants get inside the steel cage, then the top of the cage lowers. Filled with weapons, all members of this match were absolutely on their A game. We saw Team Eric Bischoff go against Team Garrett Bischoff. We saw the match conclude when Garrett struck his father Eric over the head with the guitar. Then we go into the World Tag Team title match. Magnus and Samoa Joe picked up the win over the Motor City Machine Guns. The Machine Guns have not been on pay-per-view in quite some time, but they absolutely impressed. What a great duo Chris Sabin and Alex Shelley make. They have made a great duo for years, but I'm so glad that they're back in TNA wrestling together, especially after Sabin's injuries. Then we go into the television title match. Brother Devon picks up the win over the former champion Bobby E. And this week on Impact, absolutely phenomenal. The television title was defended on TV. And Hulk Hogan says when he was a kid, that's how he remembered it. And when I was a kid watching WCW, the NWA, the television title was defended every week on TV. It was the draw every week. And we'll get a little more into Impact in just a minute. Then we see the Knockouts title match. Gail Kim picked up the win over Velvet Sky, and the fans were not happy about this outcome. A lot of fans in attendance really wanted to see Velvet Sky successful and pick up that Knockouts title. Then we saw a segment with Flair and Hogan. Then we go into Crimson. He picked up the win over Matt Morgan and remained undefeated in TNA wrestling. And I really have a feeling that TNA is kind of dropping the ball on Matt Morgan. You want my opinions? Here's one of my opinions. Matt Morgan is an incredible athlete. Last year he was in the world title picture, and I believe he should be in that world title picture. I understand why the feud with Crimson is going on right now. They were former enemies that became tag team partners due to Sting. They actually became tag team champions. There was a rift between the two, thus costing them the success that they enjoyed as a team, and now they're battling it out. That's granted. But I want to see Morgan elevated to that main event stage once again. Then Jeff Hardy picked up the win over Kurt Angle. Jeff Hardy promised he was going to go off the top of the cage, and he sure as hell delivered. Then we see the Knockouts Tag Team titles, the most interesting Knockouts Tag Team champions ever. ODB and Eric Young, who recently got married the previous week on Impact, picked up the win over Rosita and Sarita. ODB basically defeated both of those knockouts single-handedly. And the world title match, I was pretty disappointed with the outcome here. Robert Roode is one of the best heels in professional wrestling today. He was successful, picked up the win over Storm. This is after Storm had the match won. He went for the last call super kick and actually kicked Bobby Roode right out of the cage. It was a shame. James Storm, incredible athlete, and actually on this week's episode of Impact, he started to cut a promo and ended up just walking off, completely speechless. He was very disappointed in himself, and I understand. Storyline-wise, incredible athlete, very disappointed he did not win the world title. It's been 6 months and working this match to see it once again. And Sacrifice was an absolutely phenomenal pay-per-view. Now to touch on the highlights of Impact, we'll wrap up this video and get it up for you guys. In the future, these episodes will have more detail. They will be longer. They will feature more content, more of my thoughts, and they won't really be off the script. They'll kind of just be from the hip. They'll be about the week in wrestling and my thoughts. Now on Impact, we saw a huge #1 contenders match where RVD picked up the win over Jeff Hardy and Mr. Anderson to become the new #1 contender. Also, we saw the television title defended. This is what I want to see, like I previously mentioned in this video. The television title defended on TV every week can be an incredible draw. And you know what? For the fans, having a weekly television match is a win-win situation. Also, Hulk Hogan announced once a month open fight night, where if you challenge another competitor to a fight, he must fight. There will also be one guaranteed title match on open fight night. Very excited to see how this concept is going to work out. And I enjoy TNA Wrestling. It is an absolutely phenomenal show, and it is only getting better by the week. I can't wait to see what this new concept brings, and I hope you guys like my returning concept of This Week in Wrestling. Please look for future episodes on my new channel, Fight Nation Wrestling. Also check me out on my new Twitter, @BrianCrazy, and check out my new website, the official website of the Effin' Brand, at www.fightnationwrestling.com. Thanks for checking this out. Please leave your thoughts below for the Effin' Brand of Wrestling and entertainment here on YouTube.com. My name is Brian Crazy, and I'll catch you later.